Good morning, everybody. Um, if you watch this video, can you please subscribe to my YouTube video? Thank you. Um, I don't know. This morning has been a good morning, and I woke up. This is real talk from the heart. I woke up and it was like almost like God was ministering to my heart, and I was like, God, like, you know my desires, you know me inside and out. And I know I had, because I'm not claiming it anymore, I had a rebellious spirit, whereas though I would do the opposite of what I knew was right. I knew what was right, but I would do the opposite of that, because we think because we're strong that we can, take anything that anybody do to us. And it could be, family, it could be, your lover, anybody. You think you can bounce back. So what I'm realizing is, the older I get and the more seasoned that I get in God, it's like, I don't want to take it. I don't want to take what you got to dish out to me, because I don't have to. You understand me? It's like the forgiveness part, you can forgive. And I remember, like, a long time ago, it used to be like, oh, I can forgive, but I won't forget. Then what is that? Like, doesn't, forgiveness, but I'm going to hold this. I forgive you, but I'm going to hold this over your head. You know what I mean? Like, but I really forgave you though. But I'm just going to, remind you that you did this to me. You know what I mean? But it's like, when I read, how many times should you forgive your brothers, your neighbors, your sisters, your brothers, your this and your that? And it puts another light, because I read it before, but it was like, I want to forgive, but I don't know how to. And that's where, we get all worked up at, because we want to do something. Our hearts want us to do it, and sometimes your heart ain't right. Like, that's why I've been praying that God make my heart right. Let me feel vulnerable to you, because, when you're open and you're vulnerable, you allow things to get in, you suppress things, you start, it's like you hold on to that hurt, you hold on to the pain. God, I don't want the pain, I don't want the hurt no more. I don't want to be familiar with it anymore. I don't want it. I don't like it. I don't need it. I know for Thanksgiving and after Thanksgiving, I was feeling way down, like all the way down. Today is the first day that I can really say I'm out of the clear. I don't even know why I was feeling like that. I don't know if it was somebody else's stuff. I don't know. I really don't know. But I've been praying to God, like, that feeling right there, that feeling, I don't want anymore. Take it away from me, God. Like, if it's somebody who makes me feel like that, take them away from me, because that feeling of weighing down, burdens, all that extra stuff, God, I don't need it. Because when you're like that, you cannot praise right. You cannot fully embrace what God has put in you when you're weighed down and you feel like you depressed, you feel like oppressed, you feel like hope is gone, you feel like it's like a feeling of, like, you just feel like all the weight of the world is on your shoulders, and every time you get up, it's just like, it's like a weightness of it, just weighs you down. And I was feeling like that after Thanksgiving, and I'm like, God, I don't know what I did to feel like this, but God, I need you to help me. I need you, Lord. And it didn't even make me want to, it didn't make me want to read, it didn't make me want to do anything. But the only thing I could say, because I didn't know why I was being faced with this again, because I thought I was past this again, and I don't know where it came from. And I'm like, God, if it's somebody else's stuff, please take it. Like, because we let other people's things weigh us down. We let other people's problems weigh us down, and we don't know how to dump it. I said, God, let me learn how to dump the things that are coming to me, because I hold on to them like I'm a problem solver, like I'm a God and I can solve it and I can do all this extra stuff. But I'm at the point in my life where, as though, I want to lead you to God. I don't want to take care of your problems. I don't want to solve your problems, because it's getting hard for me to hold on to your stuff, and I don't have room for mine. So when my stuff come around, my hands are full with your stuff, so I can't even pick up what God is trying to give me. Like, I was like, God, please take this away. Whatever it is, God, just take it away from me, because I don't like the feeling of being weighed down anymore. I don't like it. You shouldn't like it. You know why? Because when you're weighed down from something that you don't even know why you're weighed down, you can't fully embrace who you are in God. When you're weighed down from the weight of the world, from the weight of people problems, from the weight of your children, from the weight of everything, you got to learn how to take it in and give it back to God. Give it to God, because we can't handle it. We're not meant to handle this. We are vessels, and we're meant to hold what God has put in us. But if we can't hold what He has put in us, then we're going to drop it. I don't want to keep dropping the things that God is trying to put in my life. And I was like, and it came to me. I was like, God, trying to figure it out. I'm like, God, why is my past and my future and my present? Why? That's my past. Why do we keep holding on to the past? Why we keep holding on to that thing and bringing it? And it's almost like a chain that's held on us, that's attached to us. It's a chain that's attached to us, and we keep bringing it everywhere we go. God, detach that in the name of Jesus, because that's your past. I had no control over what happened to me when I was a kid. I had no control of how. I didn't even have control of what I ate or how the bills was going to get paid, and none of that. But today, I have control of my life. My life is my own. God gave it to me. He gave me free will. He empowered me to do the right thing. He empowers us to be, God led, and He gives us the tools. And it's just hitting me. Boom. I've been to every conference that I can even think of. I've been to every prayer. I prayed. And then it dawned on me. It's a conversation with God. Because I used to think my prayer wasn't good enough. God, I don't even know how to pray like them. But when we had corporate prayer the other week, He said, I'm giving you your own style of prayer. And then when my pastor got on the thing, because she's just unique to me and she's different. So it's like, it wasn't even her being like, her getting us hype. It was the words that penetrated my heart that made me be like, oh God, yes, God. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, it ain't about the hypeness. It ain't about, what you can do like to a crowd or nothing. It's the words that you are saying out your mouth to God. Because it's a normal conversation. When you get that it's a conversation between you and God, and it's an intimate conversation between you and God, because it's the stuff that is coming from your heart. The stuff that we couldn't even get to. The stuff that has been buried and suppressed because we keep burying stuff. We keep suppressing it. We keep, holding on to some stuff. So the stuff that you can't even get to when you're trying to have that normal, intimate conversation with God. So He's saying, daughter, son, I need you to give me this. I need you to give me the stuff that happened in your past. I need you to let go, cut it by the root. Because I was like, God, I don't even understand the stuff that I be going through because of somebody else. Walking on eggshells. They're mad, so now I'm mad. What? I easily just gave my joy up. I easily just gave my peace up. You might as well just take everything from me because I'm just giving it to you because you're feeling like this. You know what I mean? So it's like, today, I'm telling you, like, from your heart, like, go deep down inside your heart. Go deep down inside of your heart. The thing that you won't even let go, give it to God. Have that conversation with God, whereas though he gonna be the one that you. I said to somebody, I said, there was a time, I'm trying to tell you, I didn't even trust God. Being in church, having, praise and worship and, getting the Holy Ghost and everything. I didn't trust God because I couldn't understand why I was going through what I was going through. I couldn't. I was like, Dad, this person keep coming in my life doing this to me. Dag, God, you just gonna let them do this to me? Like, you have the power to stop them. Even though I let it happen, I invited them. I opened the door to them. And the stuff that when I was a kid, I didn't know no better. I was a kid. You know what I mean? So there's people that prey on your children and you think they're just all fun and like, no, you got to protect your children. Protect your people. Protect your children because they can't protect themselves right now. You have the option to monitor what they look at, what they hearing, who they visit, all this stuff. You have the power. God empowered you. And whatever you don't understand, or if it's not going the way that you give it to God and you allow him to work it out. You have faith. All you need is faith as big, as small as a mustard seed. Mustard seed faith. It's minute. Like, you can't even see it. He said, if you have a mustard seed faith, you can move a mountain. I was like, wow, I could move a mountain with that little bit of faith? But this is the thing. This is what I'm trying to tell you. Because your heart isn't right? And because you got all this blockage in your face, because you can't see left or right, or you can't see in general, you can't see what God is doing for you in your life. Know why? Because I was like that. You know how? Because I remember when I was buying my house, and I remember my aunt asking me, she said, Shantae, I'm like, what? Like, because I had no expression. I promise you, the people around me was more happier, or they could express how happy they were than me, because I've been through so much, you know what I mean? And I was like, I had faith that I was going to get it because God, he told me I was going to get it, you know what I mean? But it was always a doubt. It's always a doubt when we're about to get the thing that we're supposed to get. It's always a doubt because everything in the world can happen. Everything possibly before the time that you're supposed to do something is going to happen, right? So you're like, God, really? Like, really? So you're in disbelief, you're in shock, you're in this, you're in that. Like, what can happen now? Da-da-da-da. You have those conversations with yourself, because I know I have them. I'm like, God, can you just do it already? Because I remember asking God for stuff that I just thought I had to have. Like, I thought that I needed it. I thought I needed it. I thought I had to have it, that I will die without it. That's how spoiled I was. God, why can't you do it? He protected me from so many things. But before I went to go buy my house, I had people questioning me. Are you sure you're about to go to the table? Are you sure? And I'm like, well, yeah, because I'm doing everything they asked me to do. Like, I don't know, like, because I didn't give anything. Whatever the realtor asked me, the loan broker, I just did it. If it didn't work out, oh well, she said do this, I did that. You know what I mean? I did everything that she told me to do. And that's what it is. Like, sometimes we get in our process where God is trying to tell us to do, people, and then we alter the process, and then we want God to still bless it. But I could tell you, because I was in desperate need to have my own house and have my children to be stable, that I was like, God, I need this to work. So I'm asking you, what do you need to work? Like, what do you need to work out with God? Like, you can have all this stuff. You can have all the money. You can have everything in the world. Because I believe, like, if you have voids in your life, that void will never be fulfilled. It will never be fulfilled. You can embrace it with all this extra stuff. But I remember, like, probably 3 weeks ago when we went to this conference, and God introduced me to another way of worship, another way of praise, another way to give him the glory again. I was like, God, like, I was so in awe because I was in peace. I had no distractions, you know, and I felt like God was talking to me the whole day through his word, through his conference, through his worship. And I'm like, wow, God, it's not what I'm used to, but I'm like, this is unorthodox. Like, I love it. I love God. Like, I love him. I know I confirmed that I love him, because no matter what, I keep going back to him. God, I'm like, God, like, I love you. Like, I remember I would compromise my relationship with God because of a man. And I was like, I'm never going to do that again. Like, it's always going to be God. I never compromised a relationship for my children. And that was a problem, because people want to be first in your life, but you can't be first, because if we're not married, you can't be number one. Like, it's not going to happen. You know what I mean? My children's always going to be my children, and God is always going to be first, because when you're not here, who's going to be here? It's God and my children. You know what I mean? And it's like, we put men in I'm like, how could you do that when your child is supposed to be first? Because when that man don't work, if that man didn't put a ring on it, and he ain't in commitment with you, and y'all ain't married, like, but no one, a real man won't make you choose between your God and your children. He won't. He will accommodate you. And he would also try to, first of all, and I'm a culprit of this, right? And I am a culprit of this, right? We try to make men into something that they're not. Like, if you don't have a relationship with God, and as a woman of God, you should already know that they don't have a relationship with God. Come on. Like, we know this stuff. Like, God gives us discernment. And we know that God can work on anybody. We know God can do the impossible, because we've been seeing it with our eyes. I've been seeing stuff happen and praying for people that, you know, that miracles, signs, and wonders happen. But it just seems like when it's in your own situation, and God be like, stop, beep, beep. You be like, God, what? Like, what did I do? Like, make it happen. That's how I be talking to God. Like, make it happen. But some things that we want, and this is what I realized too, right? So we be trying to make things work. We be trying to make it work. We put the puzzle pieces where they don't belong. We fit it. We alter that thing. I alter it to make it work. But I realized one thing. When I went to go for my house, right? Anything that is in God you're not gonna have to make it work. And that's what I had to realize, because I said, when I went for my house, it was like, okay, you got approved. Okay. I don't even remember. This is what I was trying to remember. I don't even remember what house, like what the loan price was. Like, I just think like when stuff is in God, God will he will open up the heavens for you, the doors. He said, I will give you heaven on earth. Like, we have dominion over this. We have dominion over a lot of things, but because we keep letting the enemy take it, we feel like we're powerless. And he empowered us to do things that eyes haven't seen, ears haven't heard, either has it entered into the hearts of man. So I'm trying to tell you, like, if you in a relationship and you just trying to force feed that thing, like you just trying to make it work, he dogged you, he did this, he did that, he did that. Like, God, he was like, Shantae, when you went to go buy your house, it was an easy process. It didn't seem like, I mean, it was not easy, but it was like everything that was supposed to happen was supposed to happen. Boom, you got your house. The pre-approval, boom, look for a house. I think the hardest thing for me was looking for a house. And it was like, if I wanted this house, it would have worked. But I was like, I was so humble and modest. I was like, you know what, God? I just want a house that I can afford and take care of. Because this is just my first house. That's how I was. I was like, God, I just want a place where I can afford. Like, I don't want all this house and then I can't afford to be in this house. So I'm like, it's like, it defeats the purpose. It's like, you get this lavish stuff and then you can't afford it. So I'm like, God, you know I can have this over here. Like, I can have this and it will look nice and all this extra stuff. It's only me. I'm a single person. I'm a single mom. I'm buying my first house. So I want to get something that I can afford, that I know, like my dad and like, even my spiritual parents, my bishop and Pastor Linda, my dad, they always told me, like, if you're in a relationship and you solely depend on somebody, right? You have to always make sure that if that person was not there, that you can provide for yourself. You know what I mean? Especially if you're like, you're not married or anything, you know what I mean? Or it's like, I always was independent because I didn't want nobody to tell me no. I hated rejection. I hated the word no. I hated when things didn't work out, so I would never try it. You know what I mean? But it was like, God brought me back to the part where he's like, you bought your house, and he showed me the process and how I went through the process. Because people would ask me stuff, but I would just tell them what my realtor would say. Like, I wasn't excited about it because I'm like, any time they, it's always, you can do this. Like, people sell you dreams. So it's like, you sold me this dream before, you know what I mean? Not this particular person, but you sold me I was sold the dream before and then let down. So this wasn't my first time in the process. So I know, looking at houses and, all this stuff, get my faith in the foundation or whatever. But I was like, God, I want to be able to afford my house, and I want a place where my family can come. And that's what he did. And I was like, I want my house to be made into a home. It's just like, I'm very simple and basic. It may look like a lot because I like bling and all this extra stuff, but like, I'm really like, when people be like, I'm telling you, like, the stuff that I be putting together, it be stuff like I already had, or I may have accessories, and it be stuff that God be telling me, like, oh yeah, that looks nice. Like, oh, that looks nice. Oh, wear this with that. You know what I mean? But it's like, that's my style. I'm unique. You know what I mean? I like to be different. And I don't like to be like everybody else. I never did. But it's like, I'm the type of person that I can be alone. Like, I don't have to be in a big crowd to be, and that's how I am. But it's like, I don't care about all the extra stuff. Yes, I may put it on. And I'm like, I don't, like, to be honest with you, I'm not a materialistic person. I could be, but I'm not, because I lost things twice. And, it could be here today and gone tomorrow. Like, people, things, everything. Like, I don't care about the stuff. I like to have options, So if I know if I buy a $600 pair of shoes and that's only one, I want to get more for my money, but quality. You know what I mean? So it's like, I like to be comfortable now. I don't care about, what the look is for everybody else. Like, I like to be comfortable. Like, I really do. I like to look nice, but I want to be comfortable. If I'm not comfortable, then I'm not at my best, right? You know what I mean? So my whole thing is like, just ask yourself. I'm telling you, go deep down in yourself and you ask God to work on your heart, because how can you be the best you if you ain't you? Like, does that make sense? It's like, you want to be the best you, but you ain't you. You somebody else. You trying to be somebody else. You all over here when you should be over here. You know what I mean? So it's like, how could you be the best you if you not you? So I'm telling you, coming from Shantae, aka Miss Sizzle, aka the Bling Queen, come visit me at the terminal, my business. But just how can you be you if you ain't you? Like, you should ask yourself, like, am I really me? Am I really the best version of myself? And the other thing was I don't want to go to hell from the pulpit. I don't want to be in prayer and serving and doing good deeds, helping others, and then I go to hell. No. I was like, no. Shantae, your heart got to get right. Shantae, your heart got to get right. I keep telling myself when I'm going through it, like when the weight is on me, God, take this weight. But Shantae, your heart got to get right. You gotta tell yourself, I'm telling you, because it's real. Like, you can't be actually looking the part and still go to hell. No, Shantae, your heart gotta get right. Because out of my heart, my mouth speak. Out of my heart, my joy is gonna come. Out of my heart, I'm gonna be happy. Out of my heart, my kindness is gonna come. Out of my heart, my sympathy. Like, out of my heart, a lot of things is gonna be birthed in me. Like, out of my heart, like, I can feel better. I can hear better. I can see better. I can be better as a person. So that's real talk from the heart today. I just want you to be better. Be the best version of yourself that you can be. In a relationship, out of relationship. And relationships is not just with man and woman. It's with your children. I had built a relationship with my children, trying to get myself together, because I've realized that I lacked in that area. Because I couldn't figure out why me wasn't in these kids. Like, I'm trying to do all this extra stuff for them, and they don't even appreciate it because I allow people to get to them. So I had to put my protection and ask God to put the hedge of protection back over my children and stop allowing certain things. It's okay to say no, because when that's your seed. Your children, your grandkids are your seeds. You want them to be better than you and whoever else. I'm sorry, you do. So this is Miss Tizzle. You have a great day. Be blessed.